the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
Okay, so our tour guide.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I don't think I told this story. Okay. So it'll be brief, and there's funny ha-has here at the end. But before we do, episode 201, Sad Dads Club podcast.
I'm Jim.
And I'm the Lord Foo. Okay.
Let's get into it.
So here we go. Right. Boom. And I got tons of shit, so I'm going to
So you're a red hattie right now.
Right. If you watch the YouTube episode, you'd see I'm wearing.
Do you hang out with a bunch of like old ladies from Sim City or Sun City?
Only when I go to DC, babies. So our tour guide, whenever she would try to follow me, come to rally around this thing, she had a beat up red hat with Maine, like the state of Maine, written on it.
Okay.
And she wasn't always wearing it. She would just use it as like an alert, like notice me.
Right here,
like
bitches.
Right.
Yeah.
Come get the thing. Somewhere mid-trip, it was generally a joke that she would like always, watch out for the red hat. Here comes the red hat. You fucking kids, look at the red hat kind of thing.
Red hat people.
Right. Pay attention. Get your shit off your phones.
Yeah.
Look at the red hat. One of the moms decided that it would be funny to purchase all of the adults red hats and wait for a month. She bought 8 red hats, and the gag was that the one time that she would put her hat up, we were all holding hats like behind us, hiding them.
She didn't know,
and she didn't know. So the tour guide didn't know, and she would. When she would put up the red hat, she would turn around and like look at all of us. And then when she turned around and started walking, we would all adorn the red hats.
Okay. And
then when she turned around again to like start narrating a thing or pointing out something, she would see us all, and then and we did that.
Yeah.
And she like turned around to start telling the thing. We were at the USS Constitution. She turned around, saw us all wearing the hats, and you could see the hamster fall off the wheel for a moment.
Right. Unexpected.
Like, what? And then she turned back around, and then she turned back around to look at us again. We're all still wearing hats. She goes, you guys, that made my day. You're all wearing the red hats.
Yeah.
And it turned just the mom that bought all of the red hats.
Yeah.
She wanted to keep a specific couple for whatever. I think a couple were like Boston Red Sox hats. And the couple that she wanted, one of them was the one she had given to me. So I had to give my red hat back, but some of the other parents got to keep theirs. Yeah, you're right. And I went, but everyone liked me on the trip, and I didn't get to keep her. And and by the time that we were outside of any place, then I wasn't going to buy myself a red hat anymore, and I missed opportunity. So when we got back here, I think we ran into Father's Day. So for Father's Day, usually I'll buy myself like a new Father's Day hat. It's like a thing, right, for me. So I went to Dick's, and I'm like, I don't really care what it is.
Must have red hat.
But usually when I'm running in an Under Armour hat, and I found a red Under Armour hat.
You're supposed to wear that hat under other hats.
Right.
It's an
under.
It's an under hat.
Under Armour hat did. And it wasn't, and I took a picture of it, and I sent it to Jemsy, the one lady, grandma that was my new bestie from the trip.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've got my own red hat. God damn it.
Are you still texting her?
I haven't, but she did want to know how Alaska went.
And
I just haven't had a chance to.
You got to get on that shit.
I should.
She's not going to put up with you for very long. I should send her
a picture of me and the salmon, and then, by the way, I got COVID, and she'd be like,
here's a picture of my junk.
Yeah. Hey, we were texting something. I might wait till we get like, hi, do you like the Saggers? Hashtag I love my wife. She sent something when we were trying to all collate all of our pictures.
Yeah.
And we were touching base, like one off with each other. And she's like, man, if I was 20 years younger, your wife would have competition. I took that picture, sent it to my wife. And, it's all
funny,
It's all funny games. And Venus is just like, I'd cut a bitch.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Venus don't take kindly to that.
So the red hat, I think, I took a center picture of the red hat, and it wasn't until...
Were you wearing the red hat and nothing else?
Right, as far as she was concerned. I'm like, by the way... Hey,
check it out. And notice anything different about me?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It only goes to your neck. Yeah. It's cropped by design, babies.
Well, I recognize the helmet.
Yeah. It wasn't until I was wearing the hat out in public, I realized but it's a red hat.
Yeah.
And if you're not paying attention, the red hats at this point have kind of been ruined by a certain political lean.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Right. Like you and the showing of the flag.
Yeah.
Now it has like this connotation to it where you're like, I don't want that attached to me and my patriotism. And how do you separate the two anymore without, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wearing a red hat because, and most of the time I wear it backwards. So you wouldn't be able to tell what it says on the brim side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the back does give a clue.
Oh, it does, but who knows, right? At this point,
yeah.
Who knows?
It could be a sport.
Yeah, sure.
Thing.
A sporting's
yeah
touchdown hole-in-ones.
It could be a basket weaving sporting thing.
So it was like, well, now I'm apprehensive about the... Damn it. But if you want to see people's eyes cross and completely like see trains jump off the tracks, wear a red hat and a mask. You can see people like confused as fuck. Because it's like, but, and then, like, yeah. What do you think about that one, bitches?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the other day when we were talking about music and I was going through old stuff, a number of Limp Bizkit songs that were in my playlists. And I was, I think I'd gone on a walk and come back and I'd realized it reminded me more of Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit than it did anything else. And I went, fuck, wow.
Well, the whole color thing has been hijacked since like high school time frame, as far as I know, for me. Like we're talking mid-late 80s, where red stuff was like Bloods.
Oh, Crips and Bloods gangster
yeah,
shit?
that kind of blue and red, you know what I mean? So you didn't go to that part of town wearing colors.
I think Piper, she was doing something she was tracking. Oh, we were talking about passport information stuff. And it was like city of birth. And time of birth on our birth certificates. We're talking about birth certificates. And like where I was born, Torrance, like straight up,
right
down in the shit.
Yeah,
like Compton's stone's throw. So you want to know about gangster shit? I was there.
What's funny is my adopted dad grew up in Compton. That was like a normal neighborhood back then.
Yeah,
in the 50s and 60s or whatever. And then later on, when he was in the reserve, he actually had to go to a riot there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
I remember, like, up to 5th grade, I did not have white friends. Mm-hmm. Everyone was a shade of something.
Yeah.
Not that I had fucks, but, like, in hindsight. And then I came up here.
And then...
And all that diversity...
Gone.
Gone.
Yep.
Anyway. Yeah, wow. That was my quick.
Well, you were wearing a red hat, but I didn't really. I don't pay attention to that stuff really. Yeah. You mentioned the Fred Durst thing. I was like, what?
Who?
I mean, I know who Fred Durst is.
Do you remember the guitarist? He like always wore that mask with like his bassist.
Oh, vaguely.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was a decent bassist.
I didn't listen to a lot of Limp Bizkit.
That whole band kind of.
Yeah. So over the weekend, I had one of the things I enjoy is like when you offhandedly make someone's moment, right?
Okay.
And I did some work to Melly's car. One of the last kind of things that I'm trying to clean up before we like put tires on it before we go.
Okay.
So that meant tie rod ends and there was that boot I showed you the picture of was just trashed.
Right.
And so I did that work and then took it to go get it aligned, because after you touch any of that suspension stuff, you got to get it aligned. So
sure. Like
took it
you
to,
removed control arms, so no matter what.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the control arms aren't a big deal, but it's the tie rod ends.
Sure.
So took it to Brake Masters was the only place I could find that was close and quick and I could get in and out.
Did you have to make an appointment?
No, I just went in and they were busy as shit. And I went, I see you guys are really busy.
Mm-hmm.
Any chance you could fit in an alignment this afternoon? And they're like, sure, yeah, we can. Sure, cool.
Okay.
All right.
Fantastic.
So took it to get it aligned, and she just basically told me, drop it off. We'll get it done before the end of the day.
Okay.
Cool. I'm down. So at some point, like 4:30 or something, I get a phone call, and I have my phone set up so like if it's an unknown number, it just goes right to voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
So I get you have a voicemail. I'm like, oh shit, it's probably the shop. Go look at the voicemail, and it's a recording of her laughing, first of all, because of my outgoing message is kind of funny.
Okay.
And she just thought that shit was funny for some reason.
Okay.
Most people just ignore that shit, I guess, but she just,
she enjoyed it, whatever it was.
So then I go to pick up the car and I walk in. She goes, oh my gosh, you caught me laughing on your voicemail, didn't you? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, that was some funny stuff, and I love that. I didn't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do it for her. That voicemail message has been there forever.
Mm-hmm.
And it just caught her funny. And, she's like, that made my day. And I love that.
Huh.
I love that. Making
What?
someone laugh out of nowhere.
What was it?
I forget what I think it says like, I think you've reached Jimmy, don't forget to shimmy. Because there's the whole shimmy Jimmy thing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it. And she just thought that was funny.
Oh.
So anyway.
God, I remember that whole thing. Whatever your reply was to your voicemail used to be like a thing. We used to do whole skits on our answering machine of like,
yeah,
hello, you have reached the wrong number.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah,
Indian, Asian, Southern idiot, paste eater.
It's funny that you mentioned that because my older brother and I shared a phone line way back when we lived at home, and we would do Hans and Franz.
Oh, yes.
Hello, I am Hans, and I am Franz.
And
if you did not leave a message, I will take my sweats after a long, hot workout and wring it out into a glass and make you drink it. And then my brother go, yeah, no ice. And then we'd say, leave a message. And then that was our outgoing message forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one does that.
No one does that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
That shit's hilarious.
Yeah, I think it's funny.
I think I'm going to have to put some time into that later. I didn't even... And I think I stopped doing it because my number was cross-leveraged with work.
Yeah, so it's got to be professional.
I think I have a, hi, you've reached Jason Sarda, blah, 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 Wells Fargo, the operating systems engineer. If you, I'm sorry, I can't take your, it's like total sterile bullshit.
Yeah.
But at this point,
who cares?
Yeah, you're not paying me to use my phone number. Why am I putting your...
Yeah.
No.
That's your phone.
Right. Now I would have to just give consideration to whether or not I said something that was...
Or if you were looking for a job.
Yeah, completely offensive to somebody. Well, you can't say that anymore. Well, okay. All right.
Yeah.
But Hans and Franz, I could do that.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, got her car in line too. Man, that fucker was fucked up. That thing.
Yeah.
She asked me because I said, oh, it's got some new tie rod ends on it. I had put some new tie rods ends on it.
Right.
When I went to pick it up, and she goes, who put the tie rod ends on? And I'm like,
your mom.
Oh, shit. Like, I just got caught.
Right.
You know what I mean? When a shop asks you who did that work and it's you.
Right.
You're like, fuck. And I'm like, I did? And she goes, oh, you did a good job. She goes, the only thing I would recommend is next time you take them off, count how many times it takes to twist it off.
Oh, okay.
And I said, I did that.
Oh.
And she goes, oh, then it was really out. And I go, yeah, that's why it's tearing up tires.
Yeah.
One side was 19 and the other side was 18. I remember to right now how many turns each one took.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
But, it's not like it's hard to change a tie rod in.
No.
No. It's jam nut.
I thought the ending
off.
to your story was going to be how appreciative your daughter was that you did all that work for her.
Her car drives really nice. She does appreciate it, but she doesn't appreciate it in the sense that she doesn't understand the work that went into it, that I had to put into that car so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She doesn't appreciate that aspect of it. That I'm like popping off wheels and getting under there and doing shit and replacing things, and you know what I mean?
You didn't do the valve
No, I didn't
gasket.
do that.
I was going to say.
I don't
Someone didn't call me.
I'm
so
not going to. I don't think I'm going to get to that.
Really?
Yeah.
Venus asked when you guys were doing that. That's next week?
What's that?
Oregon. The schlep.
Should be the 12th.
Two
Couple of
weeks-ish away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Couple weeks.
I thought you said 3 weeks, like 2 weeks ago.
Well, like, I see the.
But
thing,
it's the 12th.
Here's the thing: is like really, I didn't have an exact time frame, but it's kind of boiled down to the fact that Shanna starts work and then she leaves, so she's gonna be like starting her school semester, and then bolting to go up there, and then because I'm telling her, she's like, we're gonna drive down on Friday on the 12th, or drive up there on Friday on the 12th.
Okay.
And then come back on Monday. And I'm like, what? Because I'm thinking we would be there for at least 3 or 4 days.
No.
You know what I mean?
But she doesn't have the time.
But she doesn't have the time, and it's not a good time for her to be away from the brand new semester.
Right.
So
right.
I totally get that. I mean, that's fine.
Wow. Turn and burn, man.
But the thing of it is, for me, I got so much vacation time. Like, literally, I'm going to have to cash out. I'm going to have to cash my PTO out and get it down. I already got emails from like HR, like, hey, you better use some time or you're just going to not be accruing any. And I'm like, because, you run up against the limit. And I'm like almost there still. I mean, I've taken a couple of days here and there, but it hasn't been if I take 1 day off, I only lose like not even a half of an hour of PTO time, because I earn almost a full 8 hours every paycheck.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I earn 7.64 hours a paycheck, and if I take 1 day off, I'm only losing 0.3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, even if I just take 1 day off, it doesn't really push anything back.
Right.
It's just sort of like
you have to take.
Yeah, it's like you just got popped in the mouth and kind of set back a little bit. And then, okay, no, I'm cool.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, and then it just keeps coming. So, and I'm like,
that's what she said.
15 or 16 year employee, so you're earning at the max amount of PTO every check. So
yeah,
but I could use the money, projects and stuff.
Yeah.
So
recoup your hardware costs for your daughter's car. Yeah, because her car needs tires now. I mean, that's the kind of the last thing I'm going to do is put tires on it. Yeah.
And then she'll be good. I think her car is good to go now with all the stuff we've done to it. You saw the list. It was pretty extensive.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't get to was the valve covers. I think the valve cover seals need to be replaced. And it's a Subaru, so they're basically, 90 degrees. And
it's a boxer, so it's flat.
Yeah. So the valve covers are on the ends.
Did you do in your overhauling, did you have to touch the engine mounts?
No.
So when I looked up, just like precursory. So not stepping on you in any way.
Oh yeah. No, I don't care.
One of the things to make that easier is to undo the engine mounts, and so that you can get the engine just a little bit more wiggle room to get the valve covers off. And if you're going to be undoing the engine
Might
mounts,
as well replace
you might as well replace them.
Well,
But you would have to know whether or not that was something of value.
interestingly enough, the Haynes manual, because I've looked that up too, as far as like helper for the driver's side valve cover.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone says you got to loosen it and lift the motor up a little bit to get clearance. The Haynes manual says put the engine at top dead center and then turn it a little bit more. I forget exactly what the procedure was to get the valves, the valve
Springs?
I forget, I can't think of what they are. The top, whatever is pushing the valve pushers or whatever they are, to put those in a specific location.
Oh, the rocker arms?
The rocker arms.
Okay.
So that they create enough clearance that you can get the cover out. And I was like, oh, fuck, I would have never thought of that.
Oh, okay.
So they're telling you just to rotate the engine over, not lift up the motor and spin it in the engine bay, but turn the
crank it,
yeah.
Crank it over
turn
so that the pistons
engine.
orient themselves in a way that the valves and rockers move.
Exactly.
So you can lift the valve cover in a certain way that clearances.
And I was like,
arms.
I would have never thought about that. So apparently the rocker arms just stick out just enough that if you rotate the engine, you'll get them to move enough, and that'll make enough clearance to get the cover off.
I wonder if that is less cycles and less of a headache than undoing the bolts for the engine mounts and just jacking the engine like an inch. Like where's
I don't know.
the hassle to, like, how long is it going to take you to figure out where top dead center is with confidence? Because if you don't dial it in right, then you're going to go through the process of trying to remove the valve cover and go, fuck, is it there? Is it there? Oh,
Yeah.
check that again. As
I don't
opposed to
Right. I don't know. Good question.
yeah.
I just thought that was a fascinating
But that
way to do
is
it.
that's
Yeah.
No.
I never thought of that shit.
This is how the pros do it.
You wouldn't think that those rocker arms would stick up enough to make that big of a difference.
Yeah, but when you're talking about cockeyed,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like, fucking, well, yeah, the engineers probably thought of that.
I mean, I assume at some point, because she, from what I understand, she'll be up there for like 15 months, right?
Okay.
And then she'll be able to do her internship and her externship, which means that she can do those from anywhere, I guess. Which I don't know what the difference between an internship and an externship is, if they're, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
But after 15 months, she can come back and do her internship and externships, apparently.
Remotely?
Yeah, so there's a good chance that she'll be back within a year and a half-ish
Wow.
time frame. I don't know. I mean,
The program in toto is how long?
it's 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah. So it's an accelerated program. So she's doing, for those not in the know, she's doing an audiology program at Pacific University in Hillsboro, Oregon. And it is an accelerated program, which means they do one class every 2 weeks. You like hardcore go into this class for 2 weeks and then take a test. And then if you pass, you move on to the next. And that's how the whole system works. Okay. So that's how they accelerate everything, rather than having you have like 4 or 5 classes or whatever in a semester. You know, they're like 2 week dumping you into this world and then having you move on.
Piper has 15 or 16 credit units. Emily has 18. So
yeah, that's full.
Here we go. Balls to the walls.
Yeah. That's 18 units is
it's a lot.
It is.
She was saying that Emily has like a couple of days where it's
just going
like six
stacked.
Like, you know, like almost like a 12-hour, like a couple days of the week.
Well, that's what's interesting about college is like you can have your classes all spread out. Like Melly had classes, I think in her last semester, like in the evening, you know what I mean? And that kind of stuff. So you can have, if depending on how you can, sometimes you can't even plan. You just have to take whatever class it is.
Right.
So if the only time that you can get is at 6 o'clock at night, that's when you take that class.
Right.
And even if you...
And you're an adult, so 6 o'clock doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
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 You don't have to...
But I mean, even if you have other classes at like 10, 9 in the morning and that 1, 6 o'clock are still out there, you got to leave and come back or just hang around campus or whatever.
Yeah. Welcome to real world.
Yeah.
Shit
Melly
happens.
struggled a little bit with having classes that late because I think she was like walking across campus at like 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night.
Oh.
So she was a little sketched out at times about doing that.
Yeah.
So there were, especially in the morning when she was like I think she was a sophomore. She was walking from her apartment to the school, which is only like a block. And she was walking at like 6 o'clock in the morning and there's like homeless people out and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And so she would really be kind of freaked out, especially when it was darker in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So she would call my wife and they would talk on the phone while she was walking to school. So, so Shan could get the bad news if some shit went down right away.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
He's all over me, Mom. Fucking what?
I'm only 450 miles away.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
This will work out great.
But she has her apartment all ready to go. The girl that she's rooming with has moved in, and we've seen videos of the apartment's real nice little place. And she's only like 12 minutes from the school.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. Neat little area. She's close to all kinds of stuff up there.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be there very long.
Yeah.
I figured I would be gone for a week.
What's that drive time like?
9+ hours ish. It's like going to San Diego.
And you're going to bounce when? Friday evening?
No. I think we're going to leave super early Friday morning. Not super early, but probably no later than 7 or something.
Okay.
And then that's a long drive.
That's a long one.
Yeah, because you're basically going up towards Portland and then cutting left for like 15, 20 minutes to get to Hillsboro. So it's a long haul for sure. And I'll do that twice in 4 days.
4 days?
And this is one of those where I was like asking my wife, so I'm like, do you think that we're going to need to take the CRV along with her car? Do you think we're going to have enough room to take the Cadillac? Because I'd really rather drive the Cadillac than the CRV, but if I have to drive the CRV, then I will drive the CRV.
Right. What'd she say?
She thinks we're going to be able to do it, you know, packing the Forester in my car, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't really have any furniture. Like when we get up there, we're going to have to go to like IKEA or some shit and get her some stuff.
Quickie stuff.
Yeah. So she doesn't have any big stuff. Most of it's going to be clothes and makeup and, you know, bathroom things and
a limited amount of squish.
Some amount of squish.
Hey,
vacuum sealed. I'm sure there was a lot of those that came home from Fullerton.
Yeah,
a lot. Did I show you?
I saw the picture of the vacuum bags,
dude.
The industrial size vacuum bags.
Yes, full of squish.
Yes.
Anyway, that's happening. She's on edge too. It's really hitting her that it's happening in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So her demeanor has changed. It's gotten. She's not. Let me just say, I don't want to like bag on her because it's stressful, right?
Right.
She's going to another state and another city that's even further away than she was before. But she is not being kind to everybody.
Oh. Piper's hit, you know, Sierra just had a couple orientation things as well, which was, today's Wednesday. I think it might have been Monday. and plus Piper had to get her books and stuff. I know she's working a lot with Venus on some things, but the orientation thing was, this is you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a question, you can ask, but you're point person now. This is you.
Yeah.
So go nuts, ask questions, find yourself the helplines or help people or whatever they afford you for, onboarding. But, you need to start driving this conversation on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of apprehension and like bleeding edge of I don't knows. And she,
that's a tough transition.
Yeah, she hit a couple places where she was trying to find a building or a classroom. I think I only heard secondhand that it was like extremely overwhelming.
Yeah,
because it was like you need to approach this with training wheels are off. You're congratulations. You want all of the affordings of an adult. And these are some of the drawbacks, like the safety net drops a little bit, and you do the piloting.
Yeah,
you're at the wheel. This isn't all just I get to stay out as late as I want now, and
right
now it's I have to make sure my finances are here for this, and I have to arrange books. And no one's going to hold your hand. You're going to have to go through. And if she, like I said, if she has questions, and Venus is primarily there to help her, but you can't wait till the last minute for these things. There isn't someone that, like in high school or middle school, that's going to be reaching out to shepherd you.
Other aspects of that, too, are like, it's up to you if you want to add or drop classes.
Right.
Like your schedule is very fluid at first.
Yeah.
And if you think you don't like the class or the teacher or whatever, you can drop it. No one's going to say no.
Yeah.
Just drop it. You can also pick up a class if you really, if you're, if they have room. So there are plenty of decisions to be made.
There are all kinds of net news. Like I'm curious to see, if she starts getting into something that she is underperforming to her expectations. How's that play out for you?
Yeah.
How's that going to work?
Uh-huh.
Like, how far do you let that dog run the chain out?
I mean, the way I always kind of approach the college part of it with our kids is like, hey, I'm here for questions.
Yeah.
If you want advice or whatever, sure. I mean, I'm not going to sit down at the computer and figure out what classes you need.
Right.
That is
right.
But if you need advice on X, Y, or Z, that's whatever.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So
same place.
Yeah.
We're still doing that, obviously, Xander. But he gets his stuff. Ooh. We're almost to August. I don't know how far out just find out when we find out what classes he got. We had so to tie this into we had a limited engagement grad party for Piper, which we've done. Obviously, we're, a month out from that, month plus. We had intended to do something bigger, family and more friends and whatnot, but obviously we got COVID here at the house. And
it ruins the best plans, doesn't it?
Right. And Jax's surgery put him in a place where, one, we were behind the 8 ball with a whole bunch of yard projects that we wanted to do. I'm sure her people and our friends wouldn't have cared that the state of yard projects.
Yeah.
But I did.
Just pave it.
Pave
it all.
Concrete over everything.
Yeah, get the pumper truck out here.
But really, then it became Jax as an issue. So we agreed to her that, if you have sub 10 people over, like your primary crew, we want you to have something before all of your people start going off to their, like Melly, like some colleges are within a week to 2 weeks of starting. Some of her friends are leaving. So we want you to have something. So Saturday we did like a small engagement of just her friends. I cooked 3 racks of pork ribs. We did Venus's coleslaw, some roasted. I can't stand the fucking heat, but I love me doing barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
And those fucking the ribs were amazeballs. For someone that doesn't do well with people, I love hosting foodie shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you like the food?
Oh yeah.
I'm a fucking. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And the heat, just outside of that part, like I just don't love standing in the heat. For the amount of time I like to spend on barbecuing, it puts me outside in this heat with just Amazonian rivers of sweat down the crack of my ass.
It's oppressive.
It's not. Yeah, it's oppressive.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. It's just like a hot blanket of oppression. But I loved every minute of that. I turned out, the ribs were fucking amazeballs. Nick was like, I haven't had ribs done like this in years, which is unfortunate because I know exactly what he's talking about, because most of us have well, not you, because you just did your 4th of July ribs in a good way. But most of us are familiar with the Lloyd's, or you cook it in the bag, or you take it out of the bag and you wrap it in foil and you stick it in the oven for 45-something minutes.
Yeah.
And you essentially get steamed ribs.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for that. However you can get ribs, hey, it's ribs and ribs. I'm not a fan of pressure cooker ribs, but again, however you get ribs,
there's a textural thing there.
Right.
Yeah.
My ribs were smoked for 2 hours, and then I finished them for 45 minutes on a slow cook on the barbecue, and they were fucking dope.
Nice.
They were but that's a time-consuming process.
Yeah.
But the end product was, I would love to do that more.
Yeah.
But the heat is just kills it.
Well, I think what's nice about the smoker is as long as you feed chips into it, you're good. It's just going to do the thing.
Yeah.
You can have a 6-8 hour smoke, and as long as you just make sure it's got chips in it, because mine's not like yours with the self-feed, or I know you don't use that.
Right.
It has the ability to do, so you could have it self-feed. You don't even have to touch yours.
Yeah.
Mine's got a side hopper that you pull out and like fill it with chips and then put it in
and then twist it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just have to like kind of be diligent about, do I got a lot of smoke coming out the stack? No. Okay. I got to add some chips.
Chuck more.
But that's what's nice about smoking stuff is you don't really have to worry. The temperature's pretty regulated because it's electric.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of leave it slow and low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I like about that. And so I can go do other crap while it's smoking. I just got to come back every so often, add some chips.
Mm-hmm.
I dig that. I've been craving wanting to do another brisket. I'm just the only guy now at my house that will eat meat. So what am I
that's a rough.
What am I going to do with a brisket?
Meat for 2 weeks for just the size you have to buy it, and the one dude, unless you wanted to share. I'm fucking good.
I mean, I'd have to, and if I was going to cook a brisket, I couldn't eat all that by myself.
I can't remember what show we talked about the Traegers.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was here Friday last week, and he asked him like, "So is the party?" I'm like, "No, Dad, it's not. We had to move it, and if you seen the."
If you were in Discord, you would have known.
Yeah, you would have paid attention. Anyway. We were talking, somehow his Traeger got brought up, talking about how Brett has dialed in my dad's Traeger in the length of time that he had been up at my dad's house, and Venus let slip that after listening to us on the podcast, she had gone sleuthing for Traegers as like a potential surprise, like Father's Day, super birthday, Christmas gift thing.
Yeah.
And she went, so I looked at those. by the way.
Yeah.
And I couldn't buy you the basic bitch one. And the problem with that is the one that I would want to buy you, it was a hell no. We don't got money for that one.
They're hell no money.
Yeah, the hell no money.
Yeah.
And I went,
sometimes you can get lucky and find them on sale at Costco.
Right.
Yeah.
But she was like, I know you.
Yeah. You don't want the bitch one.
You wouldn't want the bitch one. And you'd be like, oh, you would, if I had an opportunity, and I haven't really looked, I just know it's almost a bridge too far. You know, I would rather have that kind of money in a really good, I would rather have gas run out to a normal barbecue with like some sort of couple other components for a outdoor kitchen than a pellet feeding Traeger.
Yeah.
But if you had to twist my arm, I'd be like, well, I'm getting all the bells and whistles. It's a one-shot deal.
Right.
Give me all the fucking options.
Yeah.
And that's hell knows money. But she looked. She's like, I just wanted to let you know that I did look, and no. And I went,
oh, cool.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it because,
I thought about buying you a Tesla, but I just didn't think we could swing it.
We don't have the power outlets. So, that it's not going to work.
They're just a slow charge on a 110.
We did that for something else. I think it was well before Father's Day. We were looking at, we were talking about funny kitchen ideas. I think it had something to do, it got brought up when we were talking about my Mother's Day attire, how I put on the chef's jacket and my name tag, the chef foo, which I asked my daughter if I was allowed to wear for her party, but she said no.
Really?
So I didn't get to wear my TLF Bistro chef foo thing. Anyway, and we were talking,
sad dad,
like something in my Amazon wish list, and it was and we were joking when I mentioned it, that it was like the diner spinning order ticket wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Like the ticket in and the spinning thing. She's like, I have that in my wish list. And I went, I have that in my wish list too, but where would we put it? So we both agreed that it would be a funny thing.
Right.
But I would have nowhere to put it that made any sense in my house.
Yeah.
But she knows. We're on the same page there. She knows.
Yeah.
But I would have nowhere to put it.
Puts me back to working at the pizzeria.
Yeah. Me
having
at
tickets just
at
get
the country club.
Order up, and then you look up, and the wheel is like
right
2/3 full of tickets, and you're like, "Fuck!"
Right.
We are busy.
We didn't have the wheel at the country club. We just had the line with the.
Oh yeah.
The put in.
Yeah.
So we would have
just slide them down.
Yeah. A line of tickets, and it was like, you knew we were getting fucked and slammed when it was half.
Yeah.
It was half, like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. How many steaks? Fuck. All right. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like that when that thing would get, like you were saying, like halfway full, you knew you were busy. But when it was over halfway full, you were like, fuck. Are we ever leaving tonight?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
God. Crazy
things.
It's funny because I think about this a lot. It was a lot of hard work, but it was such a simpler time of my life to just make pizza. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To just make pizza. And I kind of miss it sometimes.
Yeah. I do.
I mean, I made shit money. It was hard work. You were working nights. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There was a lot of things that you had to do, like, and especially when I was like the manager, like ordering stuff and, fucking making schedules and all the bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like when it was like a regular kind of mildly busy evening and you were just kind of busy making pizza and it wasn't like you felt pressure,
right?
Man, there was something about just doing that process I just miss it.
There was a level of focus in just having a simple task.
Yeah.
Is it kind of?
Yeah, something like that. And we had a good crew of people. Like everyone knew what they were doing and did it really well.
I generally feel that when you have you don't have to have a relationship with every person on your team that has to be buddy if you have a well-functioning team. Not everyone has to be your homie as you go out and get drinks at the bar, and not everyone does it. But when you come to work and everyone knows their purpose and they're doing it well, or excelling at it, that the feeling of when all cylinders are firing in order is something very special.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, I think as you go through various careers, as you find your place in whatever employment is your end game, you find that some supervisors or managers try to force that sort of chemistry.
You can't force that stuff.
And sometimes the chemistry happens with only some of the cylinders naturally, and you're fighting one cylinder that's just your rod's bent and no one fucking likes you, right? And so you try and work around it, but every once in a while you end up with, and I hope you do, because I have a couple times, you run into that place where I might be getting paid shit, or my hours are shit, and but the focus that comes with
the ease and fluidity of it all,
like this is my task, and we're just bang, 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 bang. Like I told you after last week's podcast, I told you the story of us on the boat, how we caught. I don't think I told it during the podcast. It was after.
Yeah.
The story of us catching Uncle Larry's king salmon, without spoken directives, there was a cohesion to the task at hand that was very reminiscent of how our group, a Biblis group, played Ingress. There was, after a certain amount of time, there was a feeling of almost instinctive behavior on actions that needed to be taken, or strategy that had to be enacted, or just a communication that didn't need to be said. It was like there's a same page. What an amazing feeling to have, and that was it. Like sometimes you get that in work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get that in gaming, or some sort of extracurricular, a sport event of some sort, or some pastime or hobby, like finding that us on our drive, that moment of zen with a group of people where everything just clicks.
Yeah.
What amazing experience to have.
There was the last group of people that I worked with at the pizzeria, it was one of those kind of moments. We had just a really well-oiled machine to a certain degree. Everyone knew what was up.
Right.
Like you didn't really have to tell anybody, other than here's your schedule. You didn't have to tell anybody really anything. And we had a wait staff, and we had the cooks and like dish room and stuff like that. Busy Friday night, because that was always our busy day, was Friday. And you had a guy throwing pizzas. You had 2 or 3 people making pizzas. And then you had a guy cutting pizzas, and then a dude in the dish room. And this was the kind of work where sometimes, even as the manager, I'd be like, you know what, guys? I'm doing dishes tonight.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You got the kitchen. I know you all are capable and willing and know what the fuck is going on.
Right.
I don't want to make pizza. I'm going to do dishes tonight.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And even when you were in the kitchen, it was just a well-oiled machine. You know, it just, everyone knew what was up. Like, very rarely was there a screw up. You know what I mean? It was just like, I look back at it very fondly, and so it was just a simpler, you were dusty and floury and you smelled like pizza and you were dirty and you were working hard, but at the same time, like, it was easy. It was simple. Right. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of times, if you're someone that has experienced that almost creates some of the conflict to wherever you may go next in employment or friend groups or something like that, where it's like, well, I felt the machine at its peak. Yeah. And you almost struggle to regain that in other places. Yeah. Like, you know, I want work. I want work to be enjoyable because I have to work to provide for my family. But when work is a combat scenario because 8 of the 7 cylinders are all, you know, are not firing on the right order, or everyone's got their own agenda, and so you have to play these side politics or the game or the hobby that you're trying to do. Just you can't, or you can't find time. You know, things start to butt heads with each other, and you're that, like, the frustration starts to, and it starts to take a mental toll. To, like, and I just want to be back there. Yeah, like, how do I get back there? Yeah, and then
those are the best of the your working time, is when you feel that oneness with everybody else. I mean, I left the pizzeria and went to a photography studio because that was my
passion.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to school for, was photography, and never found that. Right. I mean, I had people that I met there that I became good friends with, but I never had that cylinder thing, or you know what I mean?
Cohesion the mesh never happened again. Yeah. In that next place.
Yeah, and then move on to another job and sort of found that thing again, and that's what was fascinating about working with Tony, was we sort of had that that crew, that everyone was on the same page. Everyone was working towards the same thing and excited about something.
And then someone outside your control pulls that rug out from under you. Right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, or whatever. I mean, it's just really, really interesting dynamics that happen in the workplace at different places that you go. Because if for me, like, my motto has always been, if you can't have fun at work, you shouldn't be there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, that changes when you work from home. Yeah. You know what I mean? My idea of fun is sending animated GIFs back to people that in a Teams message. You know what I mean? That's like, oh, you said this? Oh, here's a GIF for that. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, I don't have the one-on-one right now that I used to have. Right. And I don't have, there was a time where I had that at AJA. A couple people have left. Right. And that has made a difference. Sure. So it's not that anymore, but, you know, it's not like I'm hating it, but it's just not as fun as it used to.
There's always like how do I try and find another?
Yeah, I'm always kind of looking for that. But
well, and two, like, as we're like on this precipice of $1 billion lotto thing.
Yeah, that's mine.
Hey, whatever it takes.
Don't even bother.
Just write me a check. I love you.
Yeah.
Whatever you need.
Just take out the taxes first.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. As I look at those opportunities, I'm constantly, and one of the things, the drawbacks to, you know, you find a place of employment and you get the cylinders and then you lose some, and then it becomes frustrating. Like the opportunities to try and find that wherever you're, like, to rechase your passion, then all become predicated on a lot of the things that come with you now being an adult, and that is whether or not you have a spouse or a significant other. Do you have children? What, are you renting your home or paying an apartment?
You got a car
your
payment.
mortgage, your card. And so a lot of your ability to change your course to find that cohesion with whatever that passion is or your employment is starts to become bottlenecked into your predicates.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be paying these bills. I have mouths to feed.
Yeah.
You start looking at these fantastical ways to, well, how would I, if given money, could I solve some of these problems? And then you start like, well, yeah. It's like when I think about doing other business ventures, like you can't get anywhere without taking risks.
Right.
Well, how to what regard can you put risk on the line without then to the detriment of some of your predicates?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the amount of time it would take me to become skilled at another venture is time taken away from potentially me being sharper at the job that currently pays the bills.
Right.
Or the time it takes to become skilled at that other venture is time taken away from family and friends, which is also a predicate.
Right.
I can't ostracize myself from my family. My family is priority number one.
And as you get older, that becomes more and more.
Right.
Yeah.
So you start to, right? And then you get the lotto mentality. I could solve
If I just
had.
Yeah.
Then I could have my food truck. I could have all the time in the world because I wouldn't have to worry about my monetary predicates.
Right.
Right. Man, struggles.
I know.
Struggles.
I know. It's
because it's like I want to shorten that amount of risk, but yet also have a positive mental health, and those oftentimes seem to be at odds with each other. I want to make sure everyone has I want to provide time and love and interaction with the people that are most important to me, but I also want them to be safe and secure, and that means not doing the other thing.
right.
They go in opposite directions a lot of the time. And, okay, so where can I squeeze the blood from the stone in order to try and solve or make my performance better at one or the other so that I get, the positive one?
Right.
I think that's the great struggle for middle class.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. Oh, it's like probably not a day goes by that I don't think about that
yeah,
stuff.
And then as we get these $1 billion lotto things that it continues to cross the mind. Like, man, I just need those.
Well, what I
one
think
in
is,
$302 million chance.
I mean, now that we're talking about this, our friend Mike, who just hosted the other night, he's telling us that if he wins the lottery, that we are winning the lottery, essentially, and that he is going to start up his own LLC,
right,
and like have us quit our jobs. He's going to pay us double what we're making right now,
right,
and we're just going to do stuff. We don't even know what that is.
Well, and realistically, right, you only need a certain amount, because gifting us money doesn't work.
No,
if you're an employee with an X amount of salary, realistically, we only need to make that salary for a couple of years, and then the principal, if invested properly, then becomes yearly income, and then it's like, oh, well, now you're fired, right. and it would be fine because you would just.
But I mean, I get the impression that he's like, well, I'm going to build a shop.
Right.
And we're gonna do stuff.
Right.
Would you want to do a project?
The company would then do the things that probably would put us in a place where we would all be in the same cylinder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing a thing that we all...
And that's a fascinating thing to think about. However, very unlikely.
Right.
And he's not... I mean, he is trying to win the lottery.
Because there's only...
He's not trying hard enough.
One chance in 302 million.
So are you telling me that if you spent $302 million on tickets and bought every combination of lottery ticket that you would hit it no matter what?
You would have to spend 600.
Oh, because it's double. They're $2 tickets.
600 something million, 634 million or so.
But even if it's at $1 billion, that's pretty good.
Right.
You're doubling your money.
If you won the billion, I just saw this too. If you won the $1 billion jackpot, spending $600 million to get every numeric combination,
okay,
you would net roughly only 300,000, and that's including all of the down ticket ones that you would win because you probably also got the 5-number one and the 4-number with the megaplier. Right.
Yeah.
So you would win the big jackpot, but you would win all
of the small ones,
the smaller stuff, which I think comes out of the actual. Anyway, you would only net about roughly 300,000, but you would
before or after taxes.
I think that's. I think that was
post taxes.
Yeah, after taxes, and that also requires you to be the single winner.
Yeah.
So if someone else won, then your 300,000 and change becomes less. If some rando at a Shell station was like, quick pick.
Yeah.
And
well, the worst would be in that scenario, you did and you spent the money.
Million.
You spent the money. You spent the $600 million to get all of the combos, and then someone else also picked one of the winning combos.
Right.
Right. And now you're splitting it with the big win. You're splitting the big win with someone that just got lucky.
The net profit was in the millions, not hundreds of thousands. So if my wife is getting ready to correct me as she's listening, I meant millions, not
for 350 million.
Your net is 300 something millions. So, I mean,
you won what, $200?
Yes. Like I said, and last night. So we were doing the website off of a computer seemed to have the updates, but like I said, it was hit and miss as I refreshed it. Mm-hmm. So like I was looking to see if someone in California won, but the app, the smartphone app itself was like bitching about being down and not working because I was going to scan the rest of the tickets. Like, oh, well, did I win anything? $2, $6, blah, 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 blah. So that was down until, all the way up till 10 or 11. So I just stopped. I stopped trying to scan the tickets.
Yeah, because you weren't getting anywhere.
I shot aliens in the face for a bit and then watched some YouTube shit till about 12:30, just somewhere after midnight. Went back in the kitchen to get a glass of water and then head to bed. I'm like, oh, well, fucking, I'm in here. I'm going to see. The app worked. All right. And then scan. Your ticket's not a winner. And scan. No, ticket's not a winner. Oh, ticket $2. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, right on. Scan the next one. $202. Bitches, what? I'm like, oh,
the big winner.
Fucking parade, bitches. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. And I start walking down the hallway, and then I realize, oh shit. I do walk to the bedroom, like, Venus.
She doesn't even know she's a big winner.
Yeah.
She's just snoozing along.
I'm like looking down the hallway. The kids' doors are shut. I'm like,
hey, Jax, guess what?
We want $202, Jax. What do you think about that? Huh, buddy?
That's funny.
Anyway. But then I had to send her a screenshot like I sent us a screenshot.
So essentially what you're doing is just getting paid back for a bunch of the tickets that you paid for previously.
Right.
Yeah.
And hey, fucking, I'm just treating that as I'll just roll that stuff back into the system and call it a day.
Well, this is what I was saying in our Discord was like, hey, I'm just buying tickets and I look at it as an investment in our future.
Right.
Right?
Hey.
It's not a guaranteed future at all.
Right.
But
But
I
it could be.
figure I might win, so whatever.
Hey, I mean, what did I say? 22 people in California won $12,000.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking Fiji.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised how little even like $2 winners was only like 12,000 or something. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot of number combinations. Like, and I think
Well, I think it's because of the number of numbers, right?
Yeah, they increased. They went. They did something with I can't remember what they did with the megaplier. Like they increased the numbers span in which that one can hit. Like they went from like 1 to 45, like 1 to 65 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. They increased the odds from like 1 in 250 million to 1 in 302 something million.
I mean, someone gets lucky all the time, so it's
right.
not like it's
and
impossible.
I was looking at it, I'm like, man, when was the last time that something was in the billions? Like, this has happened 3 times?
Yeah.
There's one Powerball at 1.5 and change.
Yeah.
There was fascinating on this one. There was another mega at just under that Powerball at 1.5 and just a hair under.
Uh-huh.
And that winner was in South Carolina, and they waited all the way up until the last month that it could be claimed before they claimed it.
What?
Like 11 months, I believe it was.
Wow.
So 1.5 million was hanging out billion.
Yeah.
Was hanging out in the hopper.
Just waiting for someone to claim it.
Yeah. Until someone in South Carolina finally went in and South Carolina has anonymous, so you don't know who did it.
I'd be curious to ask him why. Why did you wait 11 months?
Right. There was another person that it was another another $1 billion one in I think here. So this is the 4th largest at this point. And we've been here before.
Yeah.
So
I'll be definitely buying tickets for Friday's pull.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
I can't not do it.
Listen. Until I ditch this and go back to brushing back up on my blackjack, this makes the most sense for what I've got disposable income for.
Walter White, that's what I'm going to call you, because that was the whole thing on Breaking Bad, right?
I think a lot. And Mike, I think Mike might have been approached too. There was, when we were in the heyday of Ingress, do you remember Zancat?
Yes.
Red BMW out of Woodland. I
don't remember that, but I remember the name.
He had a crew.
Yeah.
His main shtick, he was a game theory PhD, I think.
Oh, weird.
He had a group of people that were professional gamblers and
counting cards and stuff.
I don't know if they were counting cards. They were all just really good at poker and blackjack.
Yeah.
And Habit, his girlfriend at the time, was like, if you ever are looking, because it was like, I came at her from the perspective of the strategy in planning and coordinating and intercepting E&L shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're a big brain guy. If you're ever looking for some side stuff, like, he's got a team of guys that we just, we have funds, give you money, and you go play, and then you get a percentage.
What the hell?
Right. And I think, fuck.
And what if you lose it all?
It's not my money.
Yeah, but I know. But I mean...
Well, if you're smart, you're not losing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even...
I think about that. Like,
even smart people have off days.
I should just go back and...
That's like...
Go back into playing blackjack.
That's like gambling anonymous type shit right there. Like, that's serious gambling issue type stuff.
Only if you have a problem.
I mean,
I'm not losing my money.
Yeah, but how many knees do you get broken if you lose their money? And you know what I mean? Like, I think feel weird about gambling someone else's money.
Strategically played, gambling, blackjack, cards doesn't play like a compulsive gambler. Does that make sense?
Blink, blink. I don't know, man. I struggle with that. I'm not a huge gambler. That's why buying lottery tickets is right up my alley.
Right.
Here's some quick picks.
The time, yeah.
You know?
That's another one of those skill set things. It's like I've kind of let that one go to the wayside. But I often wonder, like, what's the lowest hanging fruit that would be easier to dip back into that probably would net positive? I'm like, I wasn't far off of that.
No. That's hard pass for me.
Yeah?
Yeah. Definitely no.
Jim, I need you to drive me up to Thunder Valley.
I would drive you there. Wouldn't be gambling your fucking money.
No. Well, I don't have that kind of money.
No, but I mean, I'm saying.
But if someone was like,
hey, we got some money, you should go play it for us. And I'd be like, oh, hell no.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, hell no. So we have, I don't know, did we talk about this at some point? There's a card room near here called Stones over off 80.
Oh, yeah, they got problems. I wouldn't play at Stones.
They had, I guess, I read an article about this probably about a year and a half or so ago. They had one of the biggest cheating scandals.
Oh, yeah.
In
online
all of
poker stuff.
Poker, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like this one dude kept winning. And turns out he was cheating.
Yeah, he was getting online shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because there was like, somehow they're playing, but there was no delay or some shit like that. I don't remember exactly the details of it.
Yeah, he was somehow getting tips on how the cards were falling.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Something like that. But that's local to us. So that's crazy to think like in the poker world, they had one of the biggest cheat things happen right there, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I read that article and went, wait, Stones?
Yeah.
The one that's over
right
off
over there
Highway
by
80?
Scandia?
Yeah, like, what the shit? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And sure as shit, man. I read a couple articles on that. I was fascinated. That's fascinating.
Fucking gambling, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Told Frankie, gonna cup your knees. You fucking taking my money? Everyone's got their own.
I mean, about the most I think I ever spent any time gambling was one year at NAB. We were in Vegas, and my friend Will and his girlfriend and I went to Circus and played the nickels.
Yeah.
And you could buy a bunch of nickels for $20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And play games, and it's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
You're not spending a lot of money, but I didn't make any money either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, my mom and my grandmother used to go to like Tahoe or Reno, and they would play dollars all the time and win thousands of dollars. And I was just like, oh, that's part of me. That's part of me. I'm part of that lucky people, and I never win anything. So I just don't. It loses its appeal when you don't win.
I had more of affinity for roulette. And the couple bachelor trips that we had,
yeah,
I think my biggest payout, I hit a good 500 on a roulette, and then I'm out. Yeah, like, hey, how many people? Like, nah, I'm done. Check the box. I'm like, okay, I'm taking this. Like a $60 bet nets me into 500 or something like that. I can't remember what the.
So what was the bet? Do you remember?
No, I don't. But
I mean, because it
pushed me up over 500, and I went, "Fuck it, I'm done."
The only safe bet is black or red, right? On a roulette table, other than picking a number or an inclusion of numbers or something.
Yeah, you spread a. God,
you put your bet on a corner or something, and you've got four
there's
numbers covered.
Like a betting strategy on. I can't remember. I put my foot in my mouth all over the place. I used to have this like back of my hand. Like, okay, here, I lost this. Okay, here, and then here, and then it's a ebb and flow, and then, okay, back to here.
And ebb and flow of the guy with the fucking, magnet underneath the table, making sure it lands on whatever number.
Like a constant look at the tables and like the color. And then is there any number? Okay,
I want to see a breakdown of where they land.
Yeah, well, that's you get to
Like-
look at the numbers. That was one of the things that's always helpful as opposed to like blackjack. You could at least see the pattern of numbers, while the odds shouldn't matter. The betting strategy comes into play, but when you realize that there's a timing to the guy that spins the wheel,
Yeah.
the amount of time spent on the bet, and the amount of times the wheel spins, and the strength in which he spins the ball.
But those are all different every time, right?
They shouldn't be. The timing should all be the set time amount for betting, the set time amount it takes him to spin there's a consistency that they have to maintain.
Really?
Yes.
You would think you'd want it to be random.
No, like a certain amount of time for betting based off the speed of the wheel.
So is this like a thing that's trained into the roulette operator that like he spits the ball out at a certain force every time kind of thing?
Right. That's what you're looking for when you look at the numbers. And then you're looking at the dealer, like you watch him do a couple rounds.
Oh, he's shady.
Right. Or he is like money on the ball. Like these numbers hit within 3 or 4 multiple times. Okay, so he has a consistency, so that makes it easy. You hit that table. I'm telling you.
It's all stacked against you.
Oh, fuck yeah, of course it is.
Hardcore.
But that's why you
stacked
have to take in observation. Like if you go in blind to a table, you're like, I got $1,000 and I'm sitting here at this table.
I'm putting it all in black.
Yeah, the house is going to kick your ass all the time.
Yeah.
But if you're making intelligent observations about human behavior and the output that you get to see of the numbers that have hit, you start to move some of those house odds back to you, but it requires a lot of observation.
That I'm struggling with that. There's so many little nuanced things that just are slightly different.
Right. And that's what kept me out of doing craps, because like the dice roll and the randomness of a person holding dice is too many extra variables.
And the little diamond cuts into the soft shit on the side of the table.
Yeah. Hey, man.
All bets are off.
Yeah. You put your chips over there, someone slid them over, and now that comes off a wrinkle in a dude's knuckle wrong, and it hits your chips. And no. Plus, I don't get to see all of the rolls that the fucking people are like, no. That's too much for me. I can see 20 rolls, 20 spins of a roulette wheel deep. Like, fuck you. Look at this. See, I can build patterns off of this and watch your hands and the speed of the wheel. And, oh, fuck.
But you still got to bet before he rolls the shit.
You do.
So,
but you can time it.
You don't know. You don't know if the force of him rolling the balls is going to be slightly different in this one as it was in the last.
It may not
10 rolls,
but you try and move that needle as far to you as you can.
I mean, I understand that. I get that.
Right.
I understand what you're saying. I just don't. That's not for me.
Yeah.
I work too hard for my money.
Yeah, right.
I would rather spend it on
And then
something.
you've got that. It's like the amount of money it takes to work through those losses.
Yeah.
To try and beat the house, which is supposed to win, is a lot of disposable income.
Well, there's a difference, I think, between like entertainment,
right,
versus I'm going for a win.
Right.
There's a
business.
If you have $100 to spend on entertainment, and your choice of entertainment is to go to the slot machines or to go play cards or roulette or whatever the fuck it is, right?
Right.
That's entertainment. You've allotted yourself $100.
Right.
Logic would dictate that you're not going to yank some more money out of your wallet and keep playing when you said you set yourself a $100 limit for entertainment reasons. That's different than like being like, all right, well, I've got to make money.
I've got $100 and I need to turn into 1,000.
Yeah.
And I've got a day to do it. Ready?
Yeah. That's a tougher.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't even sound fun.
Unless you're good, right?
Well, maybe.
I mean, if you're good at blackjack or you're good at discerning those patterns, then it turns into, well, now I know how to game. I mean, it's not all that far off from being able to count cards.
Well, I mean, it's just like so often, I feel if it seems like more often than not, those people still end up with nothing.
Certainly.
Yeah.
But that could lead into all kinds of behavioral things, right?
Yeah.
Then we're talking with great power, great responsibility, Spider-Man
maybe
type of
you
shit.
made the 1,000.
Right.
Maybe you made the $1,500 or $2,000,
Right.
but now you're itching.
Right.
And more is better.
Well, I'm so good at this. I could turn this 2,000 into 10.
I already turned $100 into $1,500.
Right.
I can't do any wrong.
Why stop?
Next thing you know, it's all in the drink.
Right. You got distracted, or they send a big titty girl over to give you more cocktails, and so your intellect starts to get fuzzy. When you're drinking with someone, and variables are hard, man.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know. I feel like there's more control with a slot machine. Even though, I mean, they're totally. There's probably a pattern to those too.
Oh yeah,
I assume
there's all kinds. Yeah,
I mean, random number generators in a computer aren't really all that random.
Yeah,
from what I understand,
it all has to start from someone putting in some sort of equation. They can come real close, but not too far.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather go spend $20 on nickel machines and just have fun for an hour or whatever, and then go get dinner.
Yeah. Where's the buffet?
Yeah.
And booze.
Yeah.
We're at time. Way time.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Because it's gambling.
Now we're gambling with time.
Yeah.
Are we going to have enough space on the server?
We
don't know.
That we didn't have, we all spent on John at each other talking about gambling and lotto.
True. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, win, Mike. That's
win.
one of the new things. Win the lotto, Mike. Check your oil, Tony.
Wash your hands.
Wash your face.
Return the cart.
Wash your ass.
Get the shot.
Do the kindness.
We'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.